real quick. I always put the caveat up top when I talk about Bill Maher.
Dave Rubin, host of Rubin Report. Thank you so much for this content.
I like Bill Maher. Bill Maher, especially when I was more, say, on the liberal side of things or on the left side of things, was probably the biggest influence that I had as a TV personality, as a liberal, in terms of the ideas I cared about, in terms of who I agreed with. He has probably 20 HBO specials. I'd say 15 of them are phenomenal, and probably 5 of them are in the top 10 of HBO specials of all time. But Bill Maher has not gotten to the end of the road of where liberalism has led. And he's struggling with that, I think. And when I've done these videos, my hope is that I can encourage him to see the end of the road. And I know his producers watch this show. And supposedly I'm going to be on Bill Maher's podcast, which is launching this week.
You hear that, Bill Maher? He calling you out, bruh.
Supposed to be on.
He calling you out.
In the next couple of weeks or something, I'd be happy to have this conversation on his show, which apparently is going to be like a 2-hour long-form podcast, or we can do it there, we can do it here, whatever it is. Anyway, so Bill Maher went on Ben Shapiro's show talking about what has happened to the left, what has happened to the progressives and the woke who have sort of destroyed liberalism. And I think most of you are probably going to agree with everything he said here, but you'll see the transition from what we just talked about.
But when you say woke, you know, it's become, and I make fun of it too, because it's become an eye roll in many ways. If woke, I assume at a certain moment, and it wasn't that long ago before we didn't have the term. I only heard it, I don't know what it was, 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago at most, when we heard the term woke, and it was like alert to injustice. I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. I always have been. I hope people still understand that about me. But yes, it became sort of a byword for a lot of this goofy stuff. That's what I'm always railing against. That's why, like, they play me on Fox News now.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because you went from the guy who was...
See, honestly, I used to wear shirts that said "Stay Woke." I used to wear those type of shirts, and I wore them because I thought it meant just, you know, have your third eye open. You know, pay attention to the things that's not being said. Pay attention to the reason why things are being said anyway. What question are they answering? What are they trying to teach you? That's how I took it. But then it did start getting real silly. People started using it for dumbness, and honestly, I didn't appreciate that at all, because it makes absolutely no sense when we take something and we just mess it all up simply because we want to be deep thinkers, or we want to start challenging everything. And oh, that worked, we're gonna challenge that. That worked, we're gonna challenge that. We're gonna challenge that and challenge that and challenge, like, and call it all woke. And then you just like, just shut the.
I feel, look, I haven't changed at all. My politics hasn't changed. They've changed. People say to me sometimes, you know, have you changed? No. It's that 5 years ago, no one was talking about defunding the police. I never heard that phrase 5 years ago. That's not me changing. That's things changing. I'm reacting to it.
What exactly does that mean? Because I hear people saying that often now. Defund the police. What does that mean? Don't pay them? How can they serve and protect if we're not paying them? I need to know what it means. I'm not gonna laugh at the topic because I don't even know what it means. But that off top, that just sounds like it sounds questionable.
That's not me changing. That's things changing. I'm reacting to it, as I've always been. You know, letting 3-year-olds decide what gender they are.
Now that's a heavy one right there, and some scientists are with it, some are not. Me, usually I'd be like, I'm just gonna stay in my way. I stay in my place. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be down the middle. You know, people do what they do, as long as it don't affect me. But now, I don't know, man. I don't know. At some point, adults need to stand up and be like, okay, enough is enough. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys? How long? How far are we gonna let this go? I mean, what's going to happen? Like right now, we're allowing people just to say what they are because they have a feeling. And it's starting to look more and more like a fad. I hope I don't get any. I already know I'm going to get some bad emails because that happens often. But guess what? Oh, and if you like this style of content, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Also, the notification bell so that next time we release some content, you'll be the first to be notified. I have playlists of Bill Maher, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Thomas Sowell.
You know, letting 3-year-olds decide what gender they are. This wasn't something 5 years ago. Free speech, you know, used to be a left-wing thing that we were proud and owned, and now that seems to be under attack.
That is so true. Like, we wanted to say everything. Everything. I mean, look at Eminem. I'm a huge fan of Eminem. And I liked him more when he said whatever the heck he wanted to say before cancel culture came out. But you know what? The more we live in the world, the more people are going to start to be a little more sensitive to things that affect them personally. And then when they hear certain words, they are triggered and they no longer want to hear you say that again, or they would equate that to racism or anything else where a certain group were being oppressed. So now when you say that one thing, freedom of speech, give me that. More freedom of speech, more freedoms, give me that. More freedoms, give me that. And you can say less and less and less and less and less. Next thing you know, you're gonna be getting canceled for sign language, which probably is already happening. If you let me just be quiet.
That we were proud and owned, and now that seems to be under attack. So again, I think I've stayed the same.
Okay, as I said, most of you who watch this show who are, let's say, conservatives or libertarians or disaffected liberals, whatever it is, you probably just watched the guy who was the thought leader of American liberalism, at least from an entertainment perspective or from a cultural perspective. You probably just watched that minute-long clip and agreed with everything he said there. These people have gone bananas. The left used to defend free speech. The ACLU was a free speech organization thought of as sort of lefty liberal. And now what I want to do, and I'm talking to you, Bill, and I'm talking to your producers, who, again, I know watch this show, when Bill says, I haven't changed, it's them who have changed. And he's talking about wokeness, and he's talking about the gender stuff, and he's talking about free speech and critical race theory and all of those things. It's like, you're right, you haven't changed, but the liberals have. There are virtually no liberals other than you and 3 or 4 other people who seem to not understand the way everything has shifted. So if you accept that everything has shifted, but you still endorse and vote for people who usher this stuff in, then you're just not making the final connection, right? You're not making the final jump that would take you from being someone who complains about things to someone who actually stops the things from happening in the first place. Bill Maher gave Barack Obama $1 million. Obama helped usher in a lot of this woke stuff.
Yeah, okay. What you're not going to do is attack President Barack Obama, okay? That's my line of daggone saying. Also, by him simply starting to vote for people who are on the right does not mean he's going to stop complaining, because a lot of you guys on the right complain a hell of a lot, a heck of a lot. Everybody's complaining. When they don't get their way, everybody's complaining. Everybody. So honestly, I see what you're saying. I see that how you're tying this in and saying, look, bro, you're saying that you haven't changed, right? Right? That's what you're saying. But your party, they're starting to change, right? So why in the world are you still voting for them to do things that they're just going to continue to do? That's going to make you continue to complain about what they do. That makes sense. But then he's going to come over to your side and complain about what you do and what they do. Let's just keep it real. Bill Maher is approaching a place that's actually good. He's not approaching the right. He's approaching the middle. Yeah, I guess that is approaching the right, but he's more so becoming what they could call a centralist more than the right. And that's where people need to start becoming someone who can communicate with everyone, but still usher in things that will, let me just be quiet because I know jack about politics.
Gave Barack Obama $1 million. Obama helped usher in a lot of this woke stuff. Now again, this isn't really a criticism as much as like an encouragement that I want these people to finally get it at the end. Bill said that, you know, a lot of this stuff wasn't happening till 3 years ago, and then he said maybe 5 years ago. I want to show you a clip, and I know many of you have seen this, and I wrote about this in Don't Burn This book. This was one of my wake-up moments. I was on the left. I was still on the Young Turks Network. I was a progressive and a Bernie supporter, and I was having all of these thoughts about what the left was, what was happening on the left, meaning they were calling everybody racist and bigot, and they were silencing people and shouting speakers down at colleges and everything else. And now I want to show you this clip from 2015. This is the famous Sam Harris and Bill Maher versus Ben Affleck on Real Time. And when you see the sort of hysteria from Ben Affleck, it's like there were signs that this woke, crazy, angry thing was on its way, and it was actually happening right in your studio, Bill.
I don't like how you guys changed the definition of woke. And when I say you guys, I mean all of you who play a part in changing the definition of woke, because it didn't always mean what it is now. A lot of people like to just like when people call things or call people racist because they've said something or because they've taken a position. That's what people started to do with the word woke. Oh, you been woke now, huh? That's woke? Huh, okay. Yeah, I'm tired of y'all being so woke. They're no longer being woke. They're just being complaining. They're being fault finders. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just that.
You're saying if I criticize you're saying that Islamophobia is not a real thing. That if you're critical of something,
Well, it's not a real thing when we do it.
right.
Well, no,
It really isn't.
I'm not denying that certain people are bigoted against Muslims as people.
Right.
And that's a
That's
problem.
big of you.
But
why are you so hostile about this
Because it's
concept?
gross. It's racist.
It's not. But it's so nuts.
It's like saying
It's
those
so not. You're-
stateless, shifty Jew.
You're not listening
Absolutely
to
not.
what we are saying.
You guys are saying if you want to be liberals, believe in liberal principles like
Right.
freedom of speech, like
Right.
you know, we are endowed by our forefathers with an inalienable rights, like all men are created
No.
equal.
Ben, we have to be
When did Ben Affleck become a politician? Well, he's not a politician. He's just a man with concerns, a family of his own, and a point of view. Let me shut the hell up because everybody should have a point of view.
You know, we are endowed by our forefathers with an inalienable rights, like all men are created equal.
Ben, we have to be able to criticize bad ideas. And
Of course we do. No liberal doesn't want you to criticize bad
But
ideas.
Islam
But
at
why
this
would-
moment is the mother lode of bad ideas.
Jesus.
So we have
That's just
ideas
a fact.
like blasphemy,
It is
It's an ugly thing.
apostasy.
It is-
One basic liberal
Well, let me
principle
unpack
is
it.
tolerance.
Let me unpack it.
but
a
not
little bit.
for intolerance.
No, of course.
Can y'all let Sam Harris unpack it? He's trying to unpack it. He seems like he has a bit of patience that's needed for this back and forth that you guys have. I understand y'all are having a conversation in front of an audience and in front of a friendly audience who's ready to clap at every single thing that you guys say. So you want to be the one who get the applause. But at the end of the day, this is a conversation. So let's try to get somewhere with this.
Basic liberal
Well, let me
principle
unpack
is
it.
tolerance.
Let me unpack
But
it. a
not
little bit.
for intolerance.
No, of course not.
Good Bill right at the end, right? Tolerance, but not for intolerance. That clip, which I know probably everyone watching this has seen, and it's been seen probably 50 million times.
I have not, and I want to see it. I thought I was going to be able to watch it. But thank you very much, David Rubin, for cutting it off. Now I got to go find it. Hopefully you have it below.
On YouTube and other platforms. That was a wake up to people all over the world. When I started talking about that clip, and I did a breakdown of that clip, of every moment of that clip on my channel from years ago when I had like 20,000 subscribers or something like that, I was getting email from people all over the world, India, Egypt, Argentina, saying, holy cow, the thing that I've been thinking about the left, the perfect example of it is Ben Affleck there, calling them gross and racist. The clip goes on and on. You've all seen it. So there have been warning signs that something was happening, that the good liberals were on the defense, right? There's Bill Maher, there's Sam Harris, the sort of good non-woke liberals that were trying to use logic and reason, were dealing with people that were not using logic and reason, say Ben Affleck. That anger that Ben Affleck had and that over-the-top, I'm right, you're wrong, you're racist, that has leaked out everywhere into society. It started online, it made its way into some of these television shows, and now it's everywhere. It's all over college campuses, and the intolerance of the left and cancel culture, all of these things, this is the end result. It's what we've got on our streets right now.
All right, so the issue that I'm picking up is, and I really enjoyed that. I actually really enjoyed that clip. I do want to go back and look at that, look at the actual back and forth. I believe it's at 10 million right now, so I am about to go look at it, so I can have a better understanding of exactly what happened before I say what I'm about to say. Now I'm gonna say it. People need to stop bringing Hollywood into real matters, because they start comparing Hollywood with real matters. Hollywood is not real life. And it started to seem like it's so much where like it becomes that everybody's included. We need to protect the person, the new people that are here. So now that I have friends who look like whoever you're talking about, even if what you're saying is absolutely the truth, I gotta defend them, and I gotta make sure that if you do say it, then I'm gonna deem you racist, a bigot, a homophobe, or blah 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 blah, and it starts to sound like you're looking at Charlie Brown after a while and listening to the teachers talk when they want wah 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 wah, and we're not hearing one another. We're just waiting for them to shut up so that we can say our piece, say our point. I want to hear what y'all got to say about this in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I am Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. You guys have been amazing. Love y'all. Bye.